during a charity event. A millionaire was stunned to see that the volunteer was identical to his wife, who disappeared decades ago. He had to get closer. The charity dinner was alive with the hum of voices and the clatter of silverware. Edward Harrison sat at one of the elegantly decorated tables, surrounded by faces he knew but felt utterly detached from. Years had passed since he last attended events like this. His presence tonight wasn't voluntary. His business partners had insisted. They argued it was good for his public image, but Edward was barely listening. He offered polite smiles, nodded at the appropriate moments, but his mind was miles away, lost in the solitude that had defined his life for over 2 decades. He could still feel the weight of their absence. Asterisk, asterisk, or asterisk, asterisk, absence. His late wife, Clara, had been missing for 20 years, swallowed by a mystery that had no end. Edward had tried to move on, but something inside him never stopped searching. It was like a hollow ache that echoed through his every thought. As he stood at the edge of the room, watching guests move about with practiced grace, someone caught his eye. A volunteer, weaving between tables, her posture graceful as she served guests, a gentle smile on her face. The plate in her hand slid effortlessly onto the table as she spoke softly to the people she served, who clearly responded to her warmth. Edward froze. For a moment, his breath hitched in his chest as if the very air had been sucked from the room. His vision narrowed, focusing on the woman as though nothing else existed. The woman's hair, chestnut brown with soft waves, cascaded down her shoulders, and her profile was hauntingly familiar. Every detail, the way her lips curled slightly when she smiled, the delicate curve of her cheekbones, even the light in her eyes, was identical to Clara. The name, his wife's name, surged through his mind like a shockwave, reverberating against memories he had buried long ago. His heart pounded violently, a mix of disbelief and longing. It couldn't be Clara. That was impossible. He had accepted her death, hadn't he? 20 years of grief, of searching for answers, had forced him to let go. But as he watched the woman move through the room, the walls of certainty he had built around himself began to crack. She looked exactly like her. For a few agonizing moments, Edward couldn't move. His feet felt cemented to the floor. Was his mind playing tricks on him? A hallucination born from years of unresolved pain? He scanned the woman's features again, desperate for an explanation. His eyes flicked to the small name tag pinned to her chest. Anna. The letters blurred as Edward's pulse raced. It wasn't Clara, but the resemblance was too striking to ignore. His legs, almost on their own, carried him across the room toward her. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if he were walking through some dreamlike haze. The voices around him faded, becoming nothing more than muffled whispers, drowned out by the rapid beating of his heart. The woman, asterisk, asterisk, Anna, asterisk, asterisk, continued to serve the guests, oblivious to his approach. "Excuse me," his voice cracked, the sound barely audible, swallowed by the room. He cleared his throat, trying again, but the words felt foreign on his tongue. What could he say? How could he explain what he was feeling? She turned, finally noticing him, her eyes meeting his. For a fleeting second, Edward saw a flicker of something, perhaps recognition, but it was gone as quickly as it appeared. She smiled politely, though a faint crease of confusion formed on her forehead. "Yes?" she asked, her voice soft yet firm, as though she had encountered strangers like this before. There was a hint of wariness in her gaze now, the kind of guarded politeness that masked a deeper discomfort. Edward struggled to find his voice. He wanted to say something coherent, something that wouldn't sound like the ravings of a man haunted by his past, but his words stumbled over themselves. You, I... I'm sorry, but... He faltered, frustration and confusion blending in his tone. His hand trembled slightly at his side, and he clenched it into a fist, willing himself to stay calm. Anna raised an eyebrow, her smile fading slightly, replaced by a cautious curiosity. "Is there something I can help you with?" she asked, her tone professional yet distant. There was no recognition in her eyes, nothing that hinted she knew him or understood why he was so shaken. Edward swallowed hard, his throat suddenly dry. "You look so much like someone I used to know," he finally managed, his voice barely a whisper. He shook his head, trying to clear the cloud of emotions swirling inside him. "Someone I lost a long time ago." For a moment, Anna's expression softened, and her eyes flickered with sympathy, but it was brief. She glanced around the room, as if assessing how many people were watching their interaction. "I'm sorry for your loss," she said, her tone measured, respectful. She took a small step back, creating distance between them. "But I think you might be mistaken. I don't believe we've met before." Her words, while polite, hit Edward like a punch to the gut. He wanted to argue, to tell her that she couldn't be just a stranger, that this had to mean something. But what proof did he have? Nothing, except a face that belonged to a memory he had clung to for far too long. He felt ridiculous. What was he doing, approaching this woman like she was some ghost from his past? "I'm sorry," he muttered, his face flushing with embarrassment. I must have confused you with someone else." Anna nodded, clearly eager to end the conversation. "It's okay," she replied, but her gaze was sharp now, analyzing him as though trying to determine if he was a threat. "People make those kinds of mistakes all the time." Edward stepped back, retreating from the awkward encounter. He gave a brief, apologetic nod before turning away, his stomach twisted in knots. He felt foolish, desperate even, for believing, if only for a moment, that his long-lost wife had somehow reappeared. He cursed himself for letting his emotions control him, for letting grief still have such a strong hold on him after all these years. But as he walked away, weaving through the crowd, the uneasy feeling inside him only grew. This wasn't just a passing resemblance. Anna's face, her expressions, they mirrored Clara's too perfectly. Edward couldn't shake the unsettling sensation that fate had placed this woman in his path for a reason. This wasn't a coincidence, and deep down he knew he couldn't let it go. As the night drew on, Edward's thoughts spun out of control. He watched Anna from a distance, her every movement stirring memories that had long been buried. The seed of doubt, once planted, began to grow, and no matter how hard he tried to convince himself otherwise, he couldn't stop wondering. Who was Anna really? The question gnawed at him, and with it, a familiar ache began to resurface, the ache of unfinished stories and unresolved grief. It wasn't over. The next morning, Edward was a man consumed. The events of the previous night replayed in his mind in endless loops. He hadn't slept. How could he? His thoughts were tangled with images of Anna and the haunting resemblance she bore to Clara. Every detail felt like a cruel echo from the past. The way she smiled, the glint in her eyes, the unconscious gestures she made with her hands. All of it. It was as if time had collapsed, and Clara was suddenly standing before him again, but under another name. But it couldn't be Clara. That part of his life was buried 20 years ago. And yet, the resemblance was undeniable. There had to be something more, something he wasn't seeing. He spent the entire day at his office, though he might as well have been anywhere. His mind drifted in and out of focus, unable to latch onto the tasks at hand. The usual flow of business meetings and financial reports blurred into background noise as Anna's face lingered in his thoughts. Even his assistant, Meredith, noticed his distraction, offering more than once to reschedule his appointments. Edward declined, though he wasn't entirely sure why. It wasn't as if he was contributing anything meaningful to the day's work. By late afternoon, he could no longer ignore the gnawing urge to do something, anything. He picked up his phone and stared at the screen for a long time, his thumb hovering over the contact list. He knew he needed to call, but the idea of it felt absurd. He was a grown man, a logical thinker, and here he was, preparing to investigate a woman just because she looked like someone he had loved and lost decades ago. Was this madness, or was there a deeper truth hiding beneath the surface? Before he could talk himself out of it, Edward tapped the number. The call connected after just 2 rings. Asterisk, asterisk, Harrison, asterisk, asterisk, a familiar voice answered. Daniel. The man had been by Edward's side through some of his most challenging times. Discreet, professional, trustworthy. Exactly what Edward needed right now. Asterisk, asterisk, Daniel. I need your help, asterisk, asterisk, Edward said, his voice tighter than he intended. Daniel didn't ask unnecessary questions. He never did. Asterisk, asterisk, what do you need? Asterisk, asterisk, Edward exhaled, rubbing his forehead as he leaned back in his chair. He had rehearsed what he would say, but now the words felt tangled, absurd even. Asterisk, asterisk, there's a woman. I don't know her last name. Her first name is Anna. I met her last night at a charity event. Asterisk, asterisk, he paused, unsure how to phrase the rest. Asterisk, asterisk, she looks exactly like Clara, asterisk, asterisk. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Edward could almost hear Daniel processing the information, weighing how much he should say. Asterisk, asterisk, you want me to look into her? Asterisk, asterisk, Daniel's voice was calm, as if Edward hadn't just asked him to investigate a woman based purely on a resemblance to a long-lost wife. Edward hesitated, then nodded, even though Daniel couldn't see him. Asterisk, asterisk, yes. I need to know who she is, where she's from. I need to understand why. Asterisk, asterisk, his voice faltered. Why she looks like Clara, he thought, but didn't say. The thought was too wild, even for him. Daniel didn't probe further. Asterisk, asterisk, give me whatever details you have. I'll take it from there. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward gave him what little information he could. Her name, the event, the fact that she was volunteering. As soon as he hung up, he felt a strange mix of relief and guilt. He was chasing a ghost, and he knew it. But it was a ghost he couldn't let go of. The next few days passed in an anxious blur. Edward tried to keep himself busy, but his thoughts were always circling back to the same point. Anna. He wondered what Daniel was uncovering, what secrets she might be hiding, if any. He even considered returning to the charity where he had first seen her, though he quickly dismissed the idea. He didn't want to seem obsessed, but in truth he was. 3 days later, Daniel called him back. Asterisk, asterisk, I've got something. Asterisk, asterisk, he said, without preamble. Edward's pulse quickened. Asterisk, asterisk, tell me. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna works with a few different nonprofits, mostly around the city. She's well known in the community, quiet but respected. She's been involved in charity work for a long time. Nothing suspicious on the surface. Asterisk, asterisk. Daniel paused for a moment, as if weighing the importance of what he was about to say next. Asterisk, asterisk. But I found something else. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward leaned forward in his chair, tension rising in his chest. Asterisk, asterisk. Go on. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. She has ties to a small town up north. It's where she grew up, apparently. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward's breath caught in his throat. Asterisk, asterisk, and Asterisk, 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 asterisk. It's the same town Clara was from. Asterisk, asterisk. For a moment, Edward couldn't speak. His mind raced, trying to make sense of it. Clara had never spoken much about her past, her childhood in that small, forgotten town. She'd mentioned it only in passing, like it was a chapter she closed long ago. And now, this woman, Anna, was somehow connected to the same place. Asterisk, asterisk, are you sure? Asterisk, asterisk. Edward's voice was barely a whisper. Asterisk, asterisk. I checked it twice. Same town. Anna doesn't seem to have any family left there, but that's where she grew up. Asterisk, asterisk. The pieces of the puzzle didn't fit. It felt like trying to force two different jigsaw puzzles together. But Edward couldn't ignore it. There had to be something, some connection between Anna and Clara. The resemblance, the shared history of the town. It couldn't all be a coincidence. Asterisk, asterisk. I need to know more. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward said, determination creeping into his voice. Asterisk, asterisk, keep digging. I need to understand who she is and why she looks like Clara. Asterisk, asterisk. Daniel hesitated on the other end of the line. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward. You need to be careful. This could be nothing, a coincidence. I don't want you getting hurt chasing something that might not be there. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward knew Daniel was right, but logic wasn't enough to stop the gnawing feeling in his gut. Asterisk, asterisk. I'll be careful. Asterisk, asterisk, he said, though they both knew it was a lie. When Edward hung up, he found himself pacing his office, his thoughts spinning in 1,000 different directions. The connection to Clara's hometown only deepened the mystery. Had Clara known Anna's family? Was there something about Clara's past that she had kept hidden from him all those years? The questions were endless, each one more unsettling than the last. He sat down at his desk, staring at the framed photograph of Clara that had been with him since the day she disappeared. Her smile, frozen in time, now felt like a cruel taunt. He had loved her fiercely, and her disappearance had left a wound that never fully healed. Now, the possibility that Anna could be some missing link to Clara's past. It filled him with equal parts hope and dread. The days passed slowly. Daniel's updates were sparse, but they all pointed in the same direction. Anna was connected to that town and, by extension, possibly to Clara. But the details were frustratingly elusive. Daniel had reached out to a few contacts in the town, trying to dig up old records, but there wasn't much to go on. The town was small, almost forgotten, and many of the people who had lived there during Clara's time were either dead or had moved away. Edward found himself obsessing over every piece of information Daniel sent him. He began losing track of time, neglecting his work, and spending hours poring over old photos of Clara, trying to find any detail that might explain how this woman, Anna, could look so much like her. But nothing made sense. Late one night, as he sat alone in his dimly lit office, the weight of his obsession finally caught up with him. He couldn't stop thinking about Anna, about the strange and inexplicable connection she seemed to have to his past. It was driving him to the brink. There was only one thing left to do. Edward picked up the phone and called Daniel. Asterisk, asterisk, I need to meet her again. Asterisk, asterisk, he said, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. Asterisk, asterisk, I need to talk to her. Asterisk, asterisk. Daniel didn't argue. He simply said, asterisk, asterisk, I'll arrange it. Asterisk, asterisk. As Edward hung up, a sense of both dread and anticipation washed over him. Whatever answers Anna held, he was about to find them. The mystery was only deepening, and there was no turning back now. As Edward and Daniel pressed on with their investigation, Anna began to sense something was off. At first, it was subtle, Moments during charity meetings or community events where she would catch sight of Edward standing at a distance, watching her with an expression she couldn't quite decipher. His presence felt unnerving, though he never approached her. Each time she locked eyes with him, she felt a growing unease crawl beneath her skin. He wasn't just another donor or volunteer. There was something in his gaze that unsettled her, something personal. Why was he so interested in her? Anna couldn't shake the feeling that she was being observed, even when she wasn't sure he was there. It was like a shadow hanging over her, always present, always looming. She wasn't used to being the subject of attention, let alone from someone like him, a man of wealth and status, clearly out of place in her world. And yet, there he was, his gaze following her every move. One evening, after another exhausting day at the community center, Anna returned to her modest apartment. As she approached her front door, something caught her eye, an envelope tucked neatly under the mat. Her name was written across the front in elegant, cursive handwriting. She frowned, bending down to pick it up, her fingers brushing against the smooth paper. It wasn't the type of thing she usually received. Bills, notices from the organization she worked with. Those were expected. But a handwritten letter? She stepped inside, closing the door behind her with a soft click, and tore open the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper, the handwriting just as careful and deliberate as the address on the front. Underscoring a, "You look so much like someone I loved. I need to understand what this means. I don't want to scare you, but I need answers. If you give me a chance, I'll explain everything." Underscore. The signature at the bottom was unmistakable. Edward Harrison. A shiver ran down Anna's spine. She sat down heavily on the couch, staring at the letter in disbelief. What was this? Who did he think he was? She barely knew the man beyond the fleeting glances they'd exchanged at events. And now this? It wasn't fear that gripped her, not exactly, but a sense of violation. He had been watching her, closer than she'd realized, and the way he spoke of someone he loved. The implication that she somehow resembled this person disturbed her deeply. Who was this person? And why did Edward seem to think Anna had something to do with her? For a few moments, Anna considered ignoring the letter. She could throw it away, pretend it never happened, and go on with her life. But something gnawed at her, a need to confront him, to understand why he was so fixated on her. She wasn't the type to back down from a challenge, and this man, whoever he thought he was, had crossed a line. Without overthinking, she grabbed her phone, dialing the number scribbled at the bottom of the letter. Her heart pounded as she listened to the ringing on the other end. Asterisk, asterisk, hello? Asterisk, asterisk. Edward's voice was calm, though there was an underlying tension. Asterisk, asterisk, it's Anna. Asterisk, asterisk, she said curtly. Asterisk, asterisk, we need to talk. Asterisk, asterisk. There was a brief pause. Asterisk, asterisk, I agree. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward replied, his voice steady but cautious. Asterisk, asterisk, I can meet you anytime. Wherever you feel comfortable, asterisk, asterisk. Anna didn't hesitate. Asterisk, asterisk, there's a cafe on Maple and 8 tonight. 7 o'clock, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, I'll be there, asterisk, asterisk. The line went dead, leaving Anna to sit in the silence of her apartment, her thoughts swirling with questions. What did he want from her? That evening, as the hour approached, Anna walked into the small cafe. It was quiet, with only a few patrons scattered across the tables. She chose a booth near the back, her back to the wall, where she could see the door. A few minutes later, Edward walked in. He spotted her instantly, his eyes locking onto hers with that same intensity she had felt every time they crossed paths. He approached the table with careful steps, his demeanor measured. Anna motioned for him to sit, crossing her arms as she leaned back against the booth, studying him. His presence felt larger than the small space they were in, as though he carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. Asterisk, asterisk, so asterisk, asterisk, Anna began, her voice cold, controlled. Asterisk, asterisk, why have you been following me? And what the hell is this about? Asterisk, asterisk. She slid the letter across the table, her gaze fixed on him. Edward looked down at the letter, then back at her. He didn't reach for it. Instead, he sighed, leaning forward slightly, resting his elbows on the table. Asterisk, asterisk, you have to understand. When I saw you, it was like seeing a ghost. You look exactly like my wife. Her name was Clara. She disappeared over 20 years ago. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna blinked, her mind processing his words. His wife. The accusation in her mind faded slightly, replaced by curiosity, confusion. She wasn't expecting this. Asterisk, asterisk, your wife disappeared? Asterisk, asterisk, she repeated, not entirely sure she believed it. Edward nodded, his expression tightening. Asterisk, asterisk, yes. She was the love of my life, and she vanished without a trace. I spent years trying to find her, and eventually, I had to accept that she was gone. Asterisk, asterisk, his voice wavered slightly, betraying the depth of his pain. Asterisk, asterisk, and then I saw you, and it felt like all that time I had missed something, like she was standing in front of me again. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna stared at him, trying to comprehend what he was saying. It was surreal. This man sitting across from her, telling her she looked like a woman he had lost 2 decades ago. Asterisk, asterisk, look, I don't know what you think this means, but I'm not your wife. I've never met you before. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. I know. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward said quickly, shaking his head. Asterisk, asterisk. I know you're not her. But you have to understand, there's more to this. It's not just about how you look. Asterisk, asterisk. He paused, studying her carefully. Asterisk, asterisk, where are you from, Anna? Where did you grow up? Asterisk, asterisk. Anna's defenses shot up immediately. Asterisk, asterisk, why does that matter? Asterisk, asterisk, she snapped, crossing her arms more tightly. Asterisk, asterisk, you don't get to ask me about my life just because you're chasing ghosts. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward exhaled, clearly frustrated but trying to keep his composure. Asterisk, asterisk, please, just hear me out. My wife, Clara, she grew up in a small town north of here. I didn't know much about her childhood. She didn't talk about it often, but I know that's where she was from. And Daniel, my investigator, he found out that you have roots in the same town. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna's heart skipped a beat. She tried to keep her face neutral, but her mind was racing. The same town? Asterisk, asterisk, you're lying. Asterisk, asterisk, she said, though her voice lacked conviction. There was no way this could be true. Asterisk, asterisk, you must be mistaken. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward didn't waver. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not. This isn't just about a resemblance, Anna. There's something connecting you to Clara, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to understand. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna stared at him, her mind spinning. Her mother, Clara, had disappeared when she was just a child. It had been the defining tragedy of her life, the gaping hole in her past that she had tried for years to fill. Could there really be some connection between her mother and this man's lost wife? Her voice was quiet when she finally spoke. Asterisk, asterisk, my mother's name was Clara, too. She disappeared when I was young. Asterisk, asterisk. The words hung in the air between them, thick with implication. Edward's face went pale. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. It was as if the air had been sucked out of the room. Clara, her mother's name was Clara, asterisk, asterisk, the coincidences were too heavy to ignore now. Asterisk, asterisk, your mother. She disappeared? Asterisk, asterisk, Edward asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Anna nodded, feeling the weight of her own revelation settle over her. Asterisk, asterisk, yes. She disappeared when I was just a child. I don't remember much about her, but her name was Clara, asterisk, asterisk. For the first time since they sat down, Edward looked genuinely shaken. He stared at her, the gears in his mind turning, trying to piece together this new information. Anna could see it in his eyes. The sudden fear that this wasn't just about a lost wife anymore. It was about something far deeper, something neither of them could have anticipated. They sat in silence, each of them lost in their own thoughts, the weight of their shared past pressing down on them. For Anna, this was the first time she had questioned her own story. For Edward, it was confirmation that the mystery of Clara's disappearance was far more complex than he had ever imagined. They didn't have the answers yet, but one thing was clear. Their lives were now irreversibly tangled in a web of secrets that stretched back decades. And they had only just begun to unravel the threads. The revelation that both Edward's wife and Anna's mother shared not only the same name, Clara, but also a similarly mysterious disappearance, sent a ripple of disbelief through them both. But what had once seemed like a strange coincidence now felt like an urgent mystery that neither could afford to ignore. Daniel, ever the meticulous investigator, redirected his focus, zeroing in on the small town where both Claras had once lived. It was a place that had faded from memory for both Edward and Anna, but now it was the one thread that tied everything together. Edward had never known much about his wife Clara's early life. She had been vague when speaking of her childhood, offering only fragments of stories when prompted. Now, as Daniel dug deeper into the town's history, those fragments began to take on a new shape, one far darker than Edward could have ever imagined. Daniel made the journey himself, spending days combing through old records and tracking down the few remaining locals who still remembered the time when both Claras had lived there. Most of the residents had moved away, or simply didn't remember much. But one name kept surfacing during Daniel's inquiries: Martin. Martin, it seemed, had a significant, complicated relationship with Anna's mother, Clara. Rumors painted him as a dangerous man, one who had been deeply involved in the underbelly of the town's dealings. There were whispers of manipulation, control, and, most disturbingly, obsession. Martin had been possessive of Clara, the locals said, and there were hints that she had tried to leave him. What happened next was unclear, only that shortly after their separation, Clara disappeared. When Daniel relayed this information to Edward, the weight of the discovery was palpable. Edward had always assumed his wife's disappearance was tied to something in her life with him. Perhaps an accident, a tragic misstep. He had never imagined that something or someone from her past could have taken her away. Asterisk, asterisk, Martin, asterisk, asterisk, Edward said aloud, pacing the length of his study as he spoke to Daniel over the phone. Asterisk, asterisk, what else do we know about him? Could he be tied to my Clara too? Or was it just Anna's mother? Asterisk, 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 it's hard to say right now. Asterisk, asterisk, Daniel responded. Asterisk, asterisk, but the connections are there. Edward. Martin was dangerous, and it seems like both women had ties to him. If he was involved with Anna's mother, there's a strong chance your wife crossed paths with him too. I'll keep digging, but this could be bigger than we thought. Asterisk, asterisk. The more Daniel uncovered, the more the story began to unravel in ways neither Edward nor Anna could have anticipated. And with each new revelation, the tangled web that connected their lives seemed to tighten. Later that evening, Edward knew he had no choice but to call Anna. The tension between them had been growing since their initial confrontation, and he sensed her reluctance every time they spoke. She had been polite but distant, her mistrust of his motives evident. But this new information couldn't be kept from her, no matter how fragile the situation between them had become. When Anna picked up the phone, there was a long pause before she spoke. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward, asterisk, asterisk, she began, her voice heavy with exhaustion. Asterisk, asterisk, what is it? Asterisk, asterisk. He hesitated for a moment, trying to find the right way to break the news. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna. I found something important, asterisk, asterisk, he said carefully. Asterisk, asterisk, there's a man, Martin, who was involved with your mother before she disappeared. We think he might be connected to both of our Claras. He could be the link that explains what happened to them. Asterisk, asterisk. There was silence on the other end of the line. Edward could almost hear the tension tightening as Anna processed what he had said. Asterisk, asterisk, Martin? Asterisk, asterisk, she repeated, her voice suddenly tense. Asterisk, asterisk, who is this man? Why haven't I heard of him before? Asterisk, 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 we're still piecing it together. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward admitted. Asterisk, asterisk, but from what Daniels found, he was dangerous. He was involved in shady business, and it seems like he had some kind of hold on your mother. People in the town remember him being obsessed with her. I think he might have done something to her, and maybe to Clara too. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna's breath hitched, though she tried to hide it. Fear crept into her voice. Asterisk, asterisk, why would my mother never tell me about him? I don't understand. This doesn't make sense. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. I know, asterisk, asterisk, Edward said gently. Asterisk, asterisk, but it's possible she was trying to protect you. If Martin was as dangerous as we're starting to believe, she may have kept her past hidden to keep you safe. Asterisk, asterisk. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken fears. Anna struggled to process the enormity of what Edward was saying. For her entire life, she had been haunted by her mother's disappearance. But now it seemed like the person responsible might finally have a name. And worse, if Edward's theory was correct, her mother's tragic fate might also explain what had happened to his wife. Finally, Anna spoke, her voice raw. Asterisk, asterisk, I need to know the truth. Edward, asterisk, asterisk, there was no longer hesitation, only a fierce determination in her tone. Asterisk, asterisk, we can't stop now. If this Martin was involved, if he's the reason my mother disappeared, then we need to find him. And we need to know what really happened. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward nodded, though she couldn't see it. He felt the same fire burning inside him. Asterisk, asterisk, I promise you, Anna. We'll find out what happened. But you have to trust me. We're in this together now. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. I'm not sure what to believe anymore. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna admitted, her voice trembling with frustration. Asterisk, asterisk, but I don't think I have much of a choice, do I? We have to keep digging. I have to know the truth about my mother. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward understood her pain. He could hear the echoes of his own grief in her voice. The same need for answers, the same torment of not knowing. Their lives were now irreversibly intertwined. Bound by a shared history, they were only beginning to uncover. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna. I know this is hard, asterisk, asterisk, Edward said softly, trying to reassure her. Asterisk, asterisk, but if there's even a chance that we can understand what happened to your mother, and to Clara, we can't stop. We need to keep going, no matter where this leads. Asterisk, asterisk. For the first time, Anna felt the weight of the mystery settle on her shoulders, heavier than ever before. It was no longer just about her search for answers. It was about understanding a part of her life she had never known existed, and it terrified her. She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. Asterisk, asterisk, okay, asterisk, asterisk, she said finally, her voice firm. Asterisk, asterisk, let's do it. Let's figure this out together, asterisk, asterisk. The conversation ended, but the questions it raised lingered in the air long after. Edward felt a strange mixture of hope and dread. They were getting closer to the truth, but the closer they got, the more dangerous it felt. There was something dark lurking in their shared past, something tied to Martin. And Edward couldn't shake the feeling that they were headed toward a revelation that neither of them were prepared for. As the days passed, Daniel continued his investigation, piecing together the puzzle from fragments of the past. More information about Martin surfaced, his connections to organized crime, his ruthless business dealings, his violent temper. It became clear that Martin had been a powerful man in the shadows, and both Claras had been caught in his orbit. But the more they uncovered, the more it became obvious that they weren't just dealing with a cold case from the past. Martin was still out there, alive, living under a new identity, his criminal empire intact. He had managed to evade justice for years, and now Edward and Anna were closing in on him. And as they got closer to finding Martin, the danger they faced became all too real. Daniel's investigation deepened with every new piece of information, but rather than illuminating the past, each discovery only seemed to plunge it further into darkness. Martin, the man they had uncovered as a central figure in both Clara's and Anna's lives, was like a ghost. Few people in the small town where Clara had lived wanted to speak about him, and those who did spoke in vague, fearful tones. His name carried a weight, a shadow that lingered in the memories of those who knew him. But Daniel, methodical and unyielding, pressed forward. He learned that after Clara's disappearance, Martin had vanished as well. However, unlike Clara, who had seemingly evaporated from existence, Martin resurfaced in a new city, his identity scrubbed clean. He had reinvented himself, building a life as a successful businessman, someone with influence, power, and a polished public image. Yet beneath this respectable facade was the same man who had once been tied to extortion, violence, and control. It was clear Martin had a talent for slipping through the cracks. Though he had been suspected in multiple cases of illegal activity, none had ever stuck. His name had appeared in police reports tied to disappearances, threats, and blackmail, but formal charges were always elusive. He had built a wall of protection around himself, and now it was Edward and Anna's turn to try and break through it. Meanwhile, the growing tension between Edward and Anna had started to soften. The initial discomfort of their connection, the strange and painful way their lives had intersected, began to shift into something else. Shared grief had a way of knitting people together, and the more time they spent working through the puzzle of their intertwined past, the more they realized how much they had in common. Late one evening, as they sat together in Edward's living room, papers and old photographs strewn across the coffee table, a strange sense of calm settled over them. Edward leaned back in his chair, watching Anna as she carefully examined a photograph of Clara, his Clara, her fingers tracing the edges of the old, faded picture. Asterisk, asterisk, she really does look like me, asterisk, asterisk, Anna murmured, almost to herself. Her eyes lingered on the image of the woman, whose face mirrored her own, as if staring at a reflection from another time. Edward's gaze shifted from the photo to Anna. He had thought the same thing so many times, but seeing them together like this, Anna and Clara, side by side, even if only in a photograph, it was eerie. The resemblance was undeniable, and yet there was a hollowness to the familiarity. Asterisk, asterisk, yes. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward replied, his voice trailing off in thought. When I first saw you, it was like looking into the past. Like Clara was standing in front of me again, he paused, letting the weight of that realization sink in. But I know she's gone. It's just this connection between you, between your mother and my wife. It's still hard to grasp, Anna lowered the photo, her brow furrowing as she tried to process it all. But she's not Clara. And we need to accept that, her voice was soft but firm. I just want to understand who my mother really was, why she disappeared, and how Martin fits into all of this, Edward nodded, his eyes drifting back to the papers scattered before them. They both wanted the same thing, answers. But he knew the path they were on wasn't just about solving a mystery. It was about uncovering long-buried pain, both for himself and for Anna. And with every step they took, it felt like they were edging closer to something neither of them was fully prepared to face. A few days later, Daniel made a breakthrough. He had managed to track down Martin, who was now living under a different name and had built a seemingly untouchable empire. Daniel, ever the professional, had secured a meeting with Martin through one of his contacts. Though it had taken significant maneuvering, Edward insisted on attending the meeting personally, despite Daniel's warnings about the risks involved. This is a dangerous man. Edward, Daniel had said over the phone, his voice steady but concerned. We don't know what he's capable of. You're not just dealing with some businessman who cleaned up his act. This is a man with a past that's still catching up to him. If he's involved in what happened to Clara, to Anna's mother, he won't take kindly to being confronted, Edward had heard the caution in Daniel's tone, but it only strengthened his resolve. I don't care what he's capable of, Daniel. I need answers. And if this man had anything to do with Clara's disappearance, I want to hear it from him. I'm not sitting this one out, Daniel sighed, knowing Edward's mind was made up. Fine, but we do this carefully. I'll be with you the whole time. We can't afford to make any mistakes, When Edward relayed the plan to Anna, she was quiet for a moment, clearly struggling with the implications. Are you sure this is the right move? She asked, her voice heavy with doubt. If this Martin is as dangerous as Daniel says, then we're not just playing detective anymore. We're putting ourselves in his path. Edward met her eyes, the determination in his own unwavering. I know it's a risk, but this man is the key, Anna. He's connected to both of them, your mother, my wife. If we want to know the truth, we have to confront him, Anna sighed, her fingers absently toying with the edge of a paper on the table. I don't know if I'm ready for this. For whatever we're going to find out, Edward softened, understanding her hesitation. He had felt the same fear gnawing at him since the moment Martin's name first surfaced. But the need for closure, for answers, had grown too strong to ignore. Neither of us is ready, he said quietly. But we've come this far. We can't stop now, The night before the meeting with Martin, Edward found himself unable to sleep. He paced the length of his home, his thoughts a chaotic swirl of memories and fears. He replayed old conversations with Clara in his mind, searching for anything that might have hinted at the dark history she had kept hidden. But there had never been any clues, no signs of the turmoil that had existed before he met her. His heart ached with the thought that this man, Martin, might have been responsible for tearing her away from him. And worse, that Martin's reach had extended into Anna's life as well, robbing her of her mother in the same violent, mysterious way. By the time the morning sun began to rise, Edward had steeled himself for the confrontation. He was ready, no matter what he might discover. There was no turning back now. The following day, Edward and Daniel arrived at the discreet office where the meeting had been arranged. It was a sterile, corporate space, cold and impersonal, much like the man they were about to meet. Edward's pulse quickened as they approached the door, his body tensing with a mix of anxiety and anticipation. As they entered the room, Martin was already there, seated behind a sleek desk, his expression unreadable. He looked every bit the polished businessman, his dark suit immaculate, his silver hair neatly combed. But there was something in his eyes, a sharpness, a guardedness that immediately set Edward on edge. Martin stood as they approached, offering a thin, controlled smile. Asterisk, asterisk, Mr. Harrison, asterisk, asterisk. He greeted Edward with an air of cool professionalism. Asterisk, asterisk, I understand you've been asking questions. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward locked eyes with him, refusing to back down. Asterisk, asterisk, I have asterisk, asterisk, he said evenly. Asterisk, asterisk, and I think you know why asterisk, asterisk. For a moment, Martin's smile faltered, but it quickly returned, though more strained. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not sure I follow, but I'm happy to clarify any misunderstandings. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward didn't flinch. He stepped closer, his voice low and firm. Asterisk, asterisk, my wife, Clara, and Anna's mother, Clara. Both of them disappeared. Both of them had ties to you. I'm not here for pleasantries, Martin. I want to know what happened. Asterisk, asterisk. The room fell silent, the tension between them thickening as Martin's eyes flickered with something dark. Anger, perhaps, or fear. Whatever it was clear that Martin wasn't used to being confronted like this. And for the first time, Edward felt that they were close to the truth. The meeting with Martin took place in a private room of a high-end restaurant. It was quiet, luxurious, a space designed to exude wealth and power. Exactly the kind of setting Martin seemed to thrive in. His presence was commanding, even before he spoke. His silver hair was perfectly groomed, his dark suit immaculate. He projected the image of a man who had everything under control. But as Edward sat across from him, his skin prickled with unease. There was something about Martin's eyes, something cold, calculating, and dangerous that set off every alarm in Edward's gut. Martin gave a small, tight smile as the introductions were made. His manner was polite, almost indifferent, as though this meeting were nothing more than a routine business deal. Asterisk, asterisk, Mr. Harrison, asterisk, asterisk, he began, his voice smooth and calm. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not entirely sure what you think I can do for you, but I'm always open to discussing opportunities. Asterisk, asterisk. The smile didn't reach his eyes, and the coolness in his tone barely concealed a sharper edge. Edward could see right through it. Leaning forward, Edward didn't bother with pleasantries. His gaze locked on Martin's, unflinching. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not here to talk about business. I'm here because of Clara, asterisk, asterisk. For the briefest second, something flickered across Martin's face. An almost imperceptible pause, but it vanished as quickly as it came. His smile tightened. Asterisk, asterisk, Clara? I'm afraid I don't know who you're referring to. Asterisk, asterisk. His voice was smooth, but Edward wasn't fooled. He felt a surge of anger rise in his chest, his fingers gripping the edge of the table. Liar, Daniel, seated beside Edward, remained quiet for a moment, watching the exchange closely. He saw it too, the small twitch in Martin's hand, the way his fingers tapped lightly against the arm of the chair. A tell. Martin knew exactly who they were talking about. Daniel leaned forward slightly, his tone sharp. Asterisk, we know about Clara. We know you were involved with her before she disappeared. And we know she tried to leave you, asterisk. Martin's demeanor shifted. His eyes darkened and he folded his arms, leaning back in his chair. His expression hardened, the mask of civility slipping just enough to reveal the man underneath. Asterisk, you don't know a damn thing. Asterisk, he said, his voice now colder, more threatening. Asterisk, Clara made her choices. She knew the risks. I didn't make her disappear. She did that all on her own. Asterisk. Edward's heart pounded in his chest, the weight of Martin's words hitting him like a blow. He felt the heat of anger rise in his throat. Asterisk, what the hell are you talking about? Asterisk, his voice trembled, barely controlled, as the emotions surged within him. Asterisk, what did you do to her? Asterisk. Martin's lips curled into a twisted smile, a cruel glint in his eyes as he leaned forward, his voice lowering to a near whisper. Asterisk, you think you can save her? You think you can rescue someone who's already dead, Harrison? Clara made her own bed. She thought she could run, thought she could keep her little secret safe, but she was wrong. She knew too much, and that made her a liability. Asterisk. Edward's stomach dropped. The air felt heavy, suffocating, as Martin's words sank in. Dead. The word reverberated in his mind, threatening to crush him under its weight. His mind raced, grasping at the possibility that Martin was lying, that this was just another game, another cruel manipulation. But the way Martin said it, the casual, heartless way he spoke about Clara's fate, made Edward sick. Asterisk, what secret? Asterisk. Daniel's voice cut through the tense silence, his tone razor sharp, not giving Martin a moment to relish in his twisted satisfaction. Asterisk, what are you talking about? Asterisk. Martin's eyes flicked to Daniel, and he smirked, leaning back in his chair, as though enjoying the suspense. Asterisk, Clara had a daughter, didn't she? Anna, wasn't it? She thought she could run away with her, protect her from me, from the world. But Clara was a fool. She knew the truth about what I was involved in, and she thought she could escape, that she could just disappear with her precious little girl and live a quiet life. But people like Clara, they never get to just walk away. Asterisk. Edward's fist clenched, his vision blurred with rage. Asterisk, what did you do to her? Asterisk, he demanded again, his voice trembling with desperation. Asterisk, what did you do to my wife? Asterisk. Martin's smile widened, his eyes gleaming with a sick satisfaction. Asterisk, I didn't have to do much. Asterisk, he said, almost gleefully. Asterisk, she made her own choices. She thought she was doing what was best for her daughter, but all she did was dig her own grave. I just gave her that final push. Asterisk. Edward stood up so fast the chair scraped against the floor, the sound piercing through the room. Asterisk, you son of a bitch. Asterisk. Daniel was quick to intervene, placing a firm hand on Edward's arm, pulling him back before things escalated. Asterisk, Edward, don't. Asterisk, he warned, his voice steady but tense. The tension in the room was at a boiling point, and Daniel knew that losing control now wouldn't help them get the answers they needed. Edward stopped, but his eyes never left Martin. His chest heaved with each breath, every muscle in his body taut with barely contained fury. Asterisk, tell me what happened to her. Asterisk, Edward demanded, his voice raw with grief and anger. Asterisk, tell me the truth, Martin. Asterisk. Martin sighed theatrically, as if bored by the whole thing. The truth? The truth is, she's dead. And it's because she thought she could protect her daughter from the kind of world we live in. She made her choices, and now she's gone. You should have moved on a long time ago, Harrison. For a moment, Edward couldn't breathe. His entire world seemed to collapse in on itself. Dead. Clara was dead. He had suspected it for years, but hearing it confirmed. Hearing it come from the mouth of the man who had taken her from him, it was unbearable. But there was something else in Martin's words that gnawed at him. Something that didn't make sense. What do you mean she was trying to protect Anna? Edward asked, his voice quieter now, steadier. What does Anna have to do with this? Martin chuckled darkly, shaking his head. You don't get it, do you? It was always about Anna. Clara didn't care about herself. She cared about that kid. She thought she could save her, give her a better life. She thought if she ran far enough, I wouldn't find them. But Clara was wrong. And now Anna's part of this mess, just like her mother. Edward's heart raced as the pieces began to fall into place. It was never just about Clara. It was about Anna. Two Martin had been involved in both their lives, manipulating, controlling, pulling the strings. And now, he had them both in his sights. Daniel stepped in again, his voice cutting through the tension with cold precision. We have enough on you, Martin. Enough to bury you. If you don't start talking, if you don't give us everything we need, we'll make sure you never walk free again. Martin's smile faded, replaced by a steely glare. For the first time, a flicker of uncertainty passed over his face. He hadn't expected them to come this far, to get this close. But even as the walls closed in around him, his arrogance remained. You think you can threaten me? Martin's voice was sharp, but the bravado in it was fading. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I built an empire. I've survived men stronger than you. But Edward had heard enough. He stepped closer, his voice low and cold. You might have taken Clara from me, but you won't take Anna. I swear to God, I'll make sure you never touch her again. Martin's eyes narrowed, but he said nothing. His silence spoke volumes. Edward knew now that Martin had played a role in Clara's death, that he had been the shadow lurking behind her disappearance. And worse, he had been watching Anna all this time, just waiting for the right moment to pull her into his twisted world. As Edward and Daniel stood to leave, Martin's voice followed them, dripping with venom. You won't win this, Harrison. You're in over your head, just like Clara. But Edward didn't look back. He had all the motivation he needed now. Martin had taken Clara, but he wouldn't take Anna, not while Edward still had breath in his body. Martin's cryptic confession left Edward and Daniel certain that they were on the verge of uncovering the truth. His smug demeanor, the coldness with which he spoke about Clara's fate, told them that this man held more secrets than they could have anticipated. With the wheels of justice now turning, Daniel worked tirelessly alongside the authorities, gathering every shred of evidence that would finally bring Martin down. It didn't take long before the net closed around him. A few days later, Martin was arrested, his empire of lies and manipulation crumbling under the weight of the crimes that had gone unsolved for years. His arrest made headlines, but for Edward and Anna, it was much more personal. It was a final step in bringing closure to the questions that had haunted them for so long. For Edward, the arrest was bittersweet. He had been chasing answers about Clara's disappearance for decades, and now, in a matter of days, everything had come to light. But knowing what had happened to her didn't lessen the grief. It only added a painful layer to the story. Clara hadn't simply vanished into thin air, as Edward had once feared. She had tried to escape a life of violence and manipulation, one orchestrated by Martin. She had wanted to start fresh, to protect herself and her daughter Anna. But Martin, enraged at the prospect of losing control over her, had threatened to destroy everything she loved. Clara's disappearance wasn't a mystery anymore. It was an act of self-sacrifice. Sitting in his living room after the news of Martin's arrest, Edward felt the weight of it all bear down on him. He looked at the photo of Clara on the table beside him, the one he had kept for all these years. Her smile in the photograph was a haunting reminder of the life she had wanted, the life she had never been able to live. He couldn't stop thinking about the fear she must have felt, the choices she had been forced to make to keep Anna safe. He clenched his fists, the frustration and sorrow almost unbearable. Why hadn't she come to him? Why hadn't she trusted him to protect her? Asterisk, but deep down he knew the answer. Martin's grip on her had been stronger than anyone realized. She must have thought that leaving was the only way out, that disappearing was the only way to keep Anna from falling into Martin's clutches. Anna, meanwhile, was struggling with her own storm of emotions. When Daniel had told her the full story, the truth about her mother's desperate attempt to flee Martin and save her, she felt like the ground had been ripped out from under her. All her life, she had carried the wound of her mother's absence, never knowing why Clara had abandoned her. And now, to learn that Clara's disappearance had been an act of love, an attempt to shield her from a man as dangerous as Martin, it left Anna reeling. She sat alone in her apartment, the news settling over her like a suffocating blanket. For so many years, she had believed her mother had simply left, that she had chosen to disappear without looking back. But it had been the opposite all along. Clara had sacrificed everything for Anna, including her own life, and the weight of that realization crushed her. Anna stared at an old photo of her mother, one of the few she had, and tried to picture Clara in those final days. What had she been thinking? What had she felt? Asterisk, the fear, the desperation, the resolve to keep her daughter safe no matter the cost. And what must it have been like, knowing that Martin would come for her, knowing that she wouldn't survive his wrath? A tear slipped down Anna's cheek. She had spent so much time feeling abandoned, resenting the void her mother had left behind. But now she felt only grief for a woman who had been forced into an impossible situation, a woman who had given everything to protect her. The truth was a double-edged sword. She finally understood her mother's love, but that understanding came at a terrible price. Clara had died alone, afraid, and without ever seeing the future she had wanted for Anna. Edward called Anna later that evening. His voice was quiet, the usual strength gone, replaced by a heavy weariness. Asterisk, Anna, are you all right? Asterisk, he asked, though he already knew the answer. Neither of them was all right. The truth had brought them closure, but it had also torn them open in ways they hadn't expected. Asterisk, I don't know, asterisk, Anna admitted, her voice breaking slightly. Asterisk, it's just a lot. Knowing that my mother, she did all of that for me. And I never even knew. I never got to say goodbye, asterisk. Edward's heart ached at her words. He understood exactly what she was feeling. He had lost Clara without warning, without closure, and it had haunted him for years. Now, Anna was experiencing the same loss, the same unanswered questions. Asterisk, I know. Anna, asterisk, he said softly. Asterisk, I know how hard it is. But you have to remember, she did it because she loved you. She wanted you to have a life without fear. She gave up everything for that. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. I know, asterisk, asterisk, Anna whispered, wiping away another tear. Asterisk, asterisk, but it doesn't make it hurt any less. Asterisk, asterisk. There was a long silence on the line, the weight of their shared grief filling the space between them. Edward wished he could offer her more, something to ease the pain, but he knew that this kind of sorrow didn't have easy answers. All they could do now was try to move forward, even if the path ahead felt uncertain. Finally, Anna spoke again, her voice steadier. Asterisk, asterisk, what happens now? What happens with Martin? Asterisk, asterisk. Edward sighed, leaning back in his chair. Asterisk, asterisk, he's going to trial. Daniel's working with the authorities, and they've got enough to charge him with everything. Clara's disappearance, the other crimes. It's all going to come out. He won't be able to hide anymore. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, good. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna said, a hard edge to her voice. Asterisk, asterisk, he deserves whatever's coming to him. Asterisk, asterisk. But even as she said it, there was no satisfaction in her words. Justice, as important as it was, couldn't bring her mother back. It couldn't undo the years of pain and confusion she had lived with, and it couldn't fill the emptiness that Clara's absence had left in her heart. After they hung up, Edward sat in the quiet of his home, thinking about everything that had unfolded. Clara was gone, that was the harsh truth he had to accept. But in her death, she had done something extraordinary. She had given Anna the chance to live. And now, he and Anna were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives, to make sense of the past and find a way to move forward. But how did you move forward from something like this? Edward stared out the window, lost in thought. The man who had taken everything from him, his wife, his peace of mind, his future, was finally going to pay for what he had done. And yet, even with Martin facing justice, Edward didn't feel victorious. He didn't feel like he had won anything. The truth had come at a cost, and that cost was Clara's life. And now, he and Anna had to carry the weight of that truth together. As he sat there, Edward knew that this was just the beginning. With Martin in prison and the truth about Clara finally uncovered, Edward and Anna found themselves in a strange and unfamiliar place, caught between closure and the lingering echoes of their losses. They had both been devastated by Clara's absence, each in their own way, but the revelations had given them a sense of finality they never thought they'd achieve. Clara had died protecting her daughter, and the man responsible for her death was facing justice. Still, the knowledge didn't erase the pain. Instead, it offered a path forward, a way to begin healing. Weeks passed. Edward and Anna spoke often during that time, their conversations quieter, less urgent now that the mystery had been resolved. But beneath the surface, both of them struggled with how to move on. The truth had been a bomb, but it had also stirred up years of buried grief and unresolved emotion. It wasn't just Clara's death they had to reckon with. It was the years they had spent apart, not knowing, not understanding the full story. One afternoon, Edward made a decision. He called Anna. Asterisk, asterisk, I've been thinking. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward said, his voice steady but soft. Asterisk, asterisk, it's time we visited Clara's grave. I think it's something we both need. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna was silent for a moment on the other end of the line. The idea of visiting her mother's grave filled her with a strange mix of apprehension and longing. She hadn't been able to say goodbye to Clara, not in the way a daughter should have. And now, knowing everything her mother had done to protect her, the thought of standing at Clara's grave felt overwhelming. But Anna knew Edward was right. They needed this. They needed to stand together and face the past, acknowledge it, and finally let it rest. Asterisk, Asterisk, okay, asterisk, asterisk, she said quietly. Asterisk, asterisk, I'll meet you there, asterisk, asterisk. A few days later, they stood side by side at the cemetery, facing Clara's headstone. It was a simple, understated marker engraved with her name and the dates that framed her life. Anna stared at it, feeling the weight of all the time that had passed, all the unanswered questions that had once consumed her. Now, those questions had been answered, but they had left new scars in their wake. Asterisk, asterisk, I never imagined finding peace with someone who was once a stranger. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna said softly, breaking the silence. She looked at Edward, her voice tinged with wonder and sadness. Asterisk, asterisk, but somehow we're both connected to her in a way I never expected. Asterisk, asterisk. Edward glanced at Anna, his expression thoughtful. He had seen Clara and Anna from the moment they met, but over time, he had come to understand that Anna was her own person, shaped by her own experiences. The connection they shared was complex, built on grief, yes, but also on a mutual understanding of loss. They had both been shaped by Clara's love in different ways, but that love had tied their fates together. Asterisk, asterisk, you're not a stranger. Asterisk, asterisk, Edward said, his voice low and sincere. Asterisk, asterisk, in some ways we're family. Clara brought us together, even in her death. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna smiled faintly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. She felt the truth in his words. They had both been broken by Clara's absence, but in the end, they had found each other, and that had made all the difference. She turned her gaze back to the headstone, feeling a deep sense of closure settling in her chest. For a long time, they stood in silence, side by side, letting the moment wash over them. The past had been full of pain and mystery, but now, in the quiet of the cemetery, there was a sense of acceptance. They couldn't change what had happened, but they could choose how to move forward. Asterisk, asterisk, I think, maybe. It's time to forgive. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna said softly, her voice carrying the weight of years of resentment, confusion, and hurt. Forgiveness wasn't easy, and it wouldn't come all at once. But standing here, at her mother's grave, Anna knew she needed to try. Not just for Clara, but for herself. Holding on to the pain had kept her trapped for too long. Edward nodded, his throat tight with emotion. His eyes shimmered with unshed tears as he looked at the woman beside him. This person who had once been a stranger, but was now someone he felt deeply connected to. Asterisk, asterisk, forgiveness. And moving forward, asterisk, asterisk, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. The tears finally spilled over, and for the first time in a long time, Edward let himself feel the full weight of everything he had lost, and everything he had gained in the process. The grief, the anger, the confusion. It all mingled with the quiet relief of knowing that Clara's death had meaning. She had died trying to save her daughter, and in that sacrifice, she had given Anna a future that, in some small way, Edward was now a part of. He wiped his eyes, feeling lighter than he had in years. Asterisk, asterisk, Clara would want this for us. Asterisk, asterisk, he said, his voice firmer now. Asterisk, asterisk, she'd want us to find peace. Asterisk, asterisk. Anna nodded, her heart full of both sadness and hope. Asterisk, asterisk, I think she would. To asterisk, asterisk. With that, they turned and walked away from the grave, leaving behind the shadows of the past, but carrying its lessons with them. The wounds weren't gone, and the scars would always remain, but they weren't alone anymore. They had found something in each other, a strange, unexpected bond that had been born from tragedy, but had grown into something more. As they left the cemetery together, Edward and Anna carried the memories of Clara with them, not as a burden, but as a source of strength. They had each lost something irreplaceable, but in the process, they had found a way to heal. It wouldn't be easy, and the road ahead was still uncertain, but for the first time, they weren't walking it alone. They had forgiven, and now they were ready to begin again, together. If you've made it this far, then subscribe to the channel and leave a comment.